Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, little buddy. It's the kid, the triggered yogi himself. That's right. Yoga Leroy, aka Leon Walker. This is the Triggered Yogi live stream. Tapping in with you every day, 9 a.m. This is the Triggered Yogi live stream. And man, we've been talking about minding your thoughts, managing your thoughts, managing. I like managing your thoughts, man, because that's exactly what you have to do. You got to be the boss of your thoughts, man. I can't stand this echo, man. I don't know how to fix it. I do not know how to fix it. Man, the chat was super helpful and fun yesterday. I'm excited to see what the chat pulls up with, what energy pulls up with in the chat. This is a live stream, so you never know, man. It's like a gift every morning. Who am I going to meet in the chat? Who's going to fall in? Managing your thoughts. Minding your thoughts. In the business that I'm in, the entertainment industry, acting, comedy, writing, producing, we are extremely distracted by other people's results. By other people, everybody suffers from it. Everybody suffers from it. I think all entertainers or creators suffer to a degree from this distraction. Other people's results. J HUD 72 tapped in. You know, I'm staying on the theme of managing. I like managing your thoughts, minding your thoughts. But you know, when I talk about being distracted about other people's results, minding your thoughts makes sense. That makes sense because it's like minding your business. As harsh as that sounds, we got to mind our own results, man. And when you manage your thoughts and you have tunnel vision, other people's results start to be less and less and less of a distraction. But also, maybe you're putting a little bit too much pressure on your results. What if little small wins were just as big as huge wins? What if you got 2 new followers? I'm just talking about me because I'm so focused on trying to increase my social media following. And listen, the floodgates have not opened yet. The floodgates have not opened yet. So what I do is I visualize 1 new follower equaling 100,000. And I celebrate that 1 new follower or that 1 new subscriber as if the floodgates open. That's what I do. And for me, I'm not shitting on the little results. I think we shit on the little results, but they're victories, man. They're just as big. They're just as important as the huge results, the floodgates to open up. You got to let the little wins in. You got to value the little wins. You got to love on them little wins, baby. They're your kids too. Them little wins. You got to treat the little wins like you're going to treat the big wins. You got to set the tone now. How you going to move? When the floodgates open up, baby, let's go. Preach, Leroy. Man. Managing your thoughts. Minding your thoughts. Move at whatever stage you're in, whatever level you're in, move as if. Yesterday we talked about delusional. That means moving too. You got to move with that delusion, baby. Healthy delusion. Healthy delusion. You feel me? Healthy. I'm not talking about unhealthy delusion. I'm talking about healthy delusion. I'm talking about seeing the greatness and the potential in yourself now and moving with that greatness and potential, even though you look around and the results aren't there yet. But if you move in that energy and that vibration, guess what? You're attracting those things. And you're going to wake up one day, bing, 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 bing. It's going to be around you, baby. Trust me. Trust the kid, Yoga Leroy, man. I'm doing it. I'm doing it myself, man. And floodgates haven't opened, but I see the little results. I see them stacking. And all I have to do is stay consistent. All I have to do is create non-negotiables in my life. All I have to do is operate with action. That's it. Some people hear that. All you have to do, oh, that's a lot. That's a lot. You got to wake up. You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to do this. You got all these things. You got to edit. You got to post. You got, oh man, that's so much. That's overwhelming. Do you love it or not? Do you love it or not? If you don't like doing what you're doing, when you get the things, you think you really gonna keep doing what you're doing? Once you get the things? No, you're not. You got to love all the things, the whole journey, the good, bad, the ugly. You got to love it. You got to love it. You got to love it. Or it's just not going to happen. It's just not, you're not going to do it. I'll be honest with you. I'll be transparent with you. You know, I thought I loved acting. I really did think I loved acting. I like it. It's fun sometimes. I realize I don't love it because I really learned what acting, I really learned everything about acting. I think when actors come to LA, they start taking acting class and it becomes really fun because you're in class. You're connecting with people. You're working on scenes. You're doing scene study. But that's not necessarily how it is when you start to book roles and become a successful actor. It becomes more disconnected. You're not necessarily working with people like that anymore. That's just in class. So it's almost misleading. There's not a lot of classes that shows you how it's going to be when you're an actual working actor. It's totally different. Leroy, what about if you realize you've hurt somebody? What can you do? Inventory, acknowledgement, owning up to your mistakes, apologizing sincerely from the heart, and releasing the result as far as if that person chooses to forgive you or not. Cleaning up your side of the street, J Hud. It's tough because we have ego. Because we have an ego that screams at us. We don't want to be the villain. Nobody wants to be the villain. People would rather be the victim, which I think is worse than being the villain. Like when I talk to my son, and this might be a little, I can't think of the word I want to say. I just had a brain fart, but this might not be the nicest thing to say, but when it comes to basketball, I told my son, you pick one. Pick one. You could be the hero or you could be the villain. When you're on the court, you could be the hero or you could be the villain, but you can't be the victim. You can't. You can't. Because you can't win. Because you being a victim, you can't get your results. You can't. Period. And I think this applies to all areas of life. And some people get really sad results from playing the victim. And it might seem like a victory, but it really, I mean, go look. Go look and tell me where the victory is. Being a victim. I don't see it. You could be the hero or the villain, but you can't. You have to refuse to be a victim, period. Enough said, no more discussion, let's move on. You can't be the victim. So when you make a mistake or when you hurt somebody or when you fuck up, clean it up. Clean up your side of the street. Be a hero. Take accountability for the actions, for the energy you because you know who you've been. You know who you are. You know how you're moving. So be accountable. Be a man. Be grounded. And you know what? Even if that person that you've hurt maybe doesn't forgive you, they'd admire you manning up and owning up and cleaning up your side. Taking accountability, man. That's man shit right there. That's adult shit. That's adult living right there. You know what I'm saying? Clean it up. And it's hard. I see the most intellectual, bright people have a tough time with cleaning up their side of the street. You know. And releasing the result. Like let's talk about someone famous. Kanye West. Who's a Kanye West fan? Yeah, it's a little hard to say, like a lot of closet Kanye West fans these days because of how he has been publicly over the last few years, maybe more, how he has spreaded a lot of hateful things. It's been hard to be a Kanye West fan. Now, Kanye West just released a really lengthy, in-depth apology. And over the last month, he's been tapping in with the Jewish community and rabbis, apologizing and talking with them. And he released this apology. And I read this apology. I thought it was good. I actually thought it was more than good. I thought it was a great apology. But there's mixed views on this apology. There's mixed views because of the things that he's done and the things that he's said. He hasn't killed anybody. He said some hateful things. I think white people have a little bit harder time with people that say hateful things towards their community, as far as forgiving. I think black people have an easier time because y'all hate us all the time. So black people deal with forgiving in a different way, in a more open way. We understand forgiveness a little bit better than the rest of y'all. Y'all could be mad about it. I believe so. Why? Because y'all been hating us since the beginning of time, and we've been forgiving. So we get the forgiveness thing. I think white people could learn a little bit more about forgiveness from black people. So I've been seeing a lot of white Jewish people having a tough time with this apology, and you're gonna get that in any walk of life. You got to release the result. You got to just clean up your side. I feel like Kanye West is cleaning up his side of the street, And I read the apology. I feel he's doing the work that he needs to do, but he can't expect everybody to forgive him. He can't expect everybody to love him again. And you can't expect everybody to forgive you once you mess up and open up the doors. I see this in my life. You know, some people in my family, you know, that it's just a little harder for them to forgive, for them to release resentment. Resentment is tough, man, because resentment pops up every single day. I think resentment is one of the toughest things, man. It's one of the toughest things to release. It pops up every day. So, all right. So J Hud, I hope I answered your question, and I appreciate the comment, my friend. Minding your thoughts, man. Man, my son had a basketball game last night. Played really good, really strong, really confident. Really happy to see that he's seems to be feeling better. Locked in. You know, shout out to all the parents out there, man. Shout out to all the parents that have teenage kids, and these kids, you know, your kids are processing in real time like we process. Do you remember? Man, I remember. I got to keep reminding myself how it was when I was 16, man, because you're processing. And in your world around you, remember when you're in high school and your world around you, that little bubble of a world, that little high school of a world? Look at this Zoom. Golly, Zoom. I got to figure out, I don't even know how to do the Zoom, and it just does it. It just does it on its own, man. Chill, Zoom. Every time you see my hands, you just want to zoom in. I remember being in high school and feeling like that world, that high school was so big. But man, it's not. It is small. I've been with Kanye since the first day through the wire. Yeah, me too, my man. I don't remember when he lost his mom, but he going against the blacks. Well, yeah, he didn't just go against the blacks. He went against the blacks, the Jews. You know, he was, yeah. So yeah. Kanye has been doing the most for a while. It was, and if you read his apology, he talks about the car accident and having brain damage. He talks about bipolar. These are, I think they're legitimate, to be honest. They're legitimate things. You know, a lot of people say, oh, those are excuses. Bro, if you got mental illnesses, that's legit. That's legitimate things that are creating. I mean, and it's not like it's just one area. It's not like Kanye. It tracks for me. Brain damage tracks. I mean, I played football. I've gotten concussions. I believe I have some level of CTE. I've battled depression and crazy thoughts all my life. So it tracks for me. You know? And if you look at Kanye's life, it's not like he's just a bigot. It's not like he's Elon Musk doing everything on point and then the Nazi salute just comes out of nowhere. Now that does not track. Now let's really talk about it. That does not track. It does not track for a person to be so on point and be so brilliant in so many areas and then out of nowhere just a Nazi salute back to back. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Kanye West, who has been an absolute wreck in all facets of his life. Relationships, publicly, you know, the thing he, you know, still able to do music, you know, and still able to, you know, put together his fashion brand. But it tracks for me because in all facets, in all areas of his, you know, private life, he's an absolute mess with his kids, with his girl, with his wife, with his ex-wife. So it tracks for me that this guy has mental problems. He has a mental illness. It tracks for me. And honestly, when someone has mental problems and then they have a little window of clarity where they're like, I need to own up to what's going on, and they do that, I feel like that's a good thing. But yeah, I do understand how it's going to be hard. Again, I think, forgiveness is sometimes could be very difficult. I think I've just found a way to make it easier, because love is bigger than forgiveness. Love is bigger than resentment. Love is bigger than resentment. And I think a lot of times when you don't feel like love is bigger than resentment, it's because your personal pain that you have not been able to handle. So people feel like when they're hurt, when someone hurts you, it is up to them to heal your hurt. That's how people feel, right? Now, I want you to sit with that for a second. I'm going to say it again. People feel when they're hurt by somebody, it's up to that other person to heal that pain and that trauma that other person caused. Right? It's that person's obligation to heal that hurt and that pain, right? That's how people feel. Now, how does that make sense? If you really think about it, how is that even possible? How is that even possible? And where, in what area of anything have you ever seen that happen? That the person that hurt somebody heals that person. A boxing match. One person wins, one person loses, one person gets knocked out. Now, does that person that won, does that person go after the fight, go into the locker room, hug that person, give him a big hug, kiss him on the cheek? I'm sorry for knocking you out. Let me take you to the doctor. It don't even make sense. But this is how we operate, and this is how we feel. And we don't want to forgive anybody that hurt us until that person corrects the mistake or heals the trauma that was caused in us. But it's not even possible. So it's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous request. You have to do your work. If you have trauma, if you have pain, you have to do your work. And then move differently. You feel me? Because pain and trauma does not hurt anybody but you. Pain and trauma does not stop anybody but you. It only affects you. Your pain and your trauma only affects you. Your resentment, your anger only affects you. It doesn't affect anybody. If that's how you move, it's only going to limit your progress. It's not going to hurt anybody. So when someone causes pain or trauma in your life, and you're living with this pain and trauma, and your expectation is that person needs to heal my pain or trauma, which is never going to happen because it's not even possible for another person to heal your pain and trauma. You're moving around, limiting yourself, stopping yourself, blocking yourself with this pain, resentment, trauma, unresolved. You know? You miss yesterdays, but you're here today, my friend. You're here today. Soak it in. Because the kid's spitting fire today now. Fire. It's coming. It's coming from the source. It's not even my brain. It's just coming today. It's just coming today. We're talking about all of it. You know, we're talking about resentment, forgiveness, pain, trauma, our expectations that are really, really messing with us. Really messing with us, man. I'll be transparent. You know, I reached out to my dad yesterday. I reached out to my dad because he's been kind of distant, and I've spoken to my dad about feeling not as supported as I would like when it comes to like the things that I'm doing and the things that I'm up to. And it was a good conversation and he received it, but that's not going to heal anything within me. Even that conversation, and I know that, even though I appreciated it and he received it and it felt good, it's still not going to heal anything if I have resentment, pain, or trauma in me. I have to do the work. I have to surrender those emotions. I have to let go. I have to forgive whatever hangups I have with somebody. I have to do that. That's my work. Because resentment are like ghosts. Jealousy, ghosts. It's like a ghost. You're creating this haunting situation in your life by holding on to these emotions. Sometimes I forget you were on SWAT. Okay? I don't know why you would need to remember I was on SWAT all the time. To be honest, I was on one episode. Now, I wish I was on more. Oh, yeah, you did miss yesterday because I talked about the 3 times I met Shamar Moore yesterday. That was a fun episode. I'm going to cut that up and put that on my Instagram, the 3 times I met Shamar Moore. I'm not going to say it again today because I did it yesterday and you missed it. All right. Sometimes you forget. Well, good thing you remembered. Yeah, no. All right, man. Seahawks going to the Super Bowl, man. Who's excited? Oh, man, I'm excited. Seahawks are going to the Super Bowl. I have been, I just bought a new Seahawk hat. Boom, boom. Oh, it's fresh. So that should be here soon. I bought a bunch of blank t-shirts. I'm going to start printing out designs. And me, my son, and the wife are going to design our own Seahawk shirts. And I hope these shirts come in the next couple of days because I would love to send my mom, my dad, and my other mom some Seahawk gear, even though I'm not having the best relationships with my parents right now. It is, and I'm having to put some boundaries up when it comes to my parents because, and I've noticed this about, people older than us. It's hard for them to adjust and change or even be aware of the energy that they're kind of creating and putting forward. And that's just life. People are like that. You're going to run into people like that. You would hope that I'm going to say this. I think a lot of people have the same kind of experience with their parents that they have to kind of just deal with certain things and certain ways that they communicate with us. At every age, it doesn't go away. But there's certain ways that I'm just not gonna. I can't. At this stage right now in my life, I can't let certain things just like slide, especially if they're just happening over and over and over again. Not because it's hard for me to be healthy. Because you know what I'm saying. I don't know if you know, but there's this monster right behind me. There's this huge bear right behind me, and he's savage. Right behind me. And at any point in time, I know that I could turn around and turn back around, and y'all will see a grizzly bear. Y'all see a Kodak bear in your ass. I know I could be that guy. So I have to create boundaries from people that almost seem to intentionally trigger certain things in me. I have to create boundaries. And unfortunately, sometimes it's the closest people to you that trigger you. Until I'm healthy enough to deal with all of it, I have to create boundaries. Leroy, you talk about your dad. Let me share this with you about forgiveness. All right, I'll wait. I was just about to jump off, J HUD 72, but go ahead and share, and I will wait. I was just about to jump off. Yeah, talking about my dad, man. My dad is a phenomenal guy. He is the reason why I am who I am. He's the reason why I have always wanted to be an entertainer, an actor, a comedian. He is the reason why. My dad was a very entertaining person growing up. He was a poet, a motivational speaker, and an artist. He also sung, even though he didn't like sing professionally, but he had a good singing voice and would sing whenever he got the chance. And I was just like in awe of my dad growing up. I was just like, man, how does he do this? How does he do this? Teach me, man, teach me. He didn't really teach me. He made me learn on my own, but I did. I learned on my own. And now I'm doing the things, and I'm starting to really understand how to enjoy the things that I do, despite not seeing all the like Jake Paul-ish results that everybody wants. Everybody wants the Jake Paul results. Everybody wants the Jake Paul results. I'll tell you what, you keep focusing on Jake Paul's results, you're gonna be miserable. How about the Yoga Leroy results? How about your results? How about valuing those results that belong to you more than other people's results, man? It's tough though, you know. It takes practice. Minding your thoughts, managing your thoughts, it takes practice. All right, J HUD, I'm waiting, man. You writing a book. What are you writing? Come on with it. Come on with it. You're holding me hostage right now. I got some editing to do. It's edit hour right now. That's my non-negotiable. I think I'm going to go down to my new gym and work out. I got to take a CPR. I got to find a place to take my CPR. And they won't let me do it online. It would be so easy if I could just do it online. Okay, here we go. J HUD, he's back. The last time I saw my dad was July 7th last year. He was upset with me. He didn't call me until Christmas to say Merry Christmas of last year. Yeah, man, that's tough. That's rough. I'm sorry to hear that, man. I am sorry to hear that. And I can understand this scenario in regards to a lot of people don't. A lot of people have really bad habits when it comes to showing and expressing love. And Jay, I am really trying to understand this in my life as well. And I'll be transparent with you. My sister has recently stopped talking to me. And the reason why she stopped talking to me didn't make any sense. She stopped talking to me because she said she needed me and she called me and I didn't answer the phone call, and that's what her reason was for stop talking to me. Now, in my brain, that's not love. But I also understand that's my trauma. That's my resentment. That's my anger and that's my pain, because how my sister is dealing with something going on in her life, I'm putting it on me. We all have good programs and we all have toxic programs. Not a lot of people are acknowledging the toxic programs that they operate in. Not a lot of people are. There's a small percentage of people that are acknowledging the toxic programs that they operate in, and they have been operating in for a long time. And those programs were passed down. They learned it from somewhere. Like my family, we cut each other off. My sister's not talking to me right now. My brother's not talking to me right now. My mom pissed me off. I'm not talking to her. I'm doing the same thing. I'm doing the same thing to my mom that my sister is doing to me, and I'm building resentment towards my sister when I'm doing the same kind of thing to my mom. Do you see how this is just insane? And it doesn't make sense. You know, it just don't make sense. But it's because of trauma. It's because of pain. So I don't know what your dad's going through. It's very unfortunate that your dad doesn't know how to show love like how you need the love and how you receive the love. He just doesn't know. He just doesn't have the right tools. Now, I will say, when it comes to my mom, I've put boundaries up because my mom operates in toxic ways that I just can't. It hurts too much, so that's kind of why I've decided to kind of stop talking to my mom until she kind of acknowledges, or we could communicate well. The last couple of times that I've talked to my mom on the phone, she goes into a lot of things that just very hurtful. So I've had to do that to protect myself. So I try not to operate in this way where I cut people off, and I'm not necessarily cutting my mom off. I sent her a text and I told her, I'm just going to love and pray for you, and hopefully one day you could understand what I need, and I will respect you and understand what you need. Until then, you have to create healthy boundaries. Again, like I said, I know who I can be when I'm triggered. I know who I can be. And it could be, Jay, it could be that your dad knows who he could be. I mean, I'm not making excuses, but it could be your dad knows how he could be. It could be your dad is trying to protect you from him. It could be. I don't know. But I know that resentment is a hard thing. I know that trauma is a really hard thing to heal from. once it's been created. So, with all that being said, pray for your dad. Pray for him. Pray for him. I'm a grown man, but sometimes I feel like I'm 5 when I talk to my dad and I don't like that. Yeah, that's trauma, my friend. That's trauma. It's living in you, and it's been probably. I mean, if you deep dived into like that, I've been talking to people about trauma work because I've been looking to do EMDR, and if there's a lot of different trauma work, and they could pinpoint where this traumatic experience started in your life, certain trauma work can pinpoint exactly the exact moment in your life. And you might not even remember it. You might not even remember the exact moment that started creating this trauma that makes you feel like you're 5. But I'm pretty sure it probably happened when you were 5. Maybe start researching some trauma work, man. For the last year, I've been looking for a trauma therapist, and I haven't been able to find one. But I know I'll find one at the right time, because I've been putting it out there into the universe. Like, I think this is what I need. I had a therapist that told me that I was doing talk therapy for several years, and my therapist was like, I can't help you anymore. You need a trauma therapist. And since then, I've been looking for a trauma therapist, and I haven't been able to find one. I haven't been able to find one that is the right fit for me. But you got to keep putting it out there. You got to keep looking and doing your own research. And there's a lot of resources on YouTube that a lot of people are diving into, these trauma methods to help people like discover where that trauma is living, and heal from it, heal from that pain, that traumatic pain that happens every time your dad comes up, and every time, he makes you feel like you're 5, man. I understand that. I mean, not too many of us like to admit that even as grown-ups, the things that happen to us at our childhood still affects us today. We just kind of bury it, because we don't think that that's a manly thing. Like, I shouldn't be crying over my dad. I shouldn't be crying over my mom. I shouldn't, I'm 44. I shouldn't be dealing with these things still in my life. But we all are. We all are. Not many people like to admit it, but we all are. So, again, you got to do your own work. You got to continue to discover the things going on in your life. And every time you put effort into discovery, self-discovery, you clean up a little bit more. You feel a little bit better. You take the weight off just a little bit more. Even it's like the small results that I was talking about. They're as big. The small results they're as big as the floodgates opening. 1 million followers. Oh my God. You're not even going to value it when you get it. If you don't value the work, the small results, the chipping away at the sculpture, that perfect Da Vinci sculpture, you're chipping away. Pop, 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 pop. You're chipping away. You know what I'm saying? All right, man. We did it. Another one down. This is the Triggered Yogi live stream. I appreciate J HUD 72 for your question and your comments. Mario, thanks for pulling up to the live stream. I will be back tomorrow, same Leroy time, same Leroy channel. I got some editing to do. Again, creating non-negotiables in my life. What are your dreams? What is your vision? What is your strategy? Non-negotiables, things that you need to do every day. They're in alignment with breathing. You breathe to survive. And that's how you treat the actions that are going to get you to your vision. It's like breathing. So breathe. Breathe. Go get what's yours, my friend. Appreciate you, J Hud. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a blessed and beautiful day. Pray for your people. Peace.